The Presidential Communications Group, or simply the Communications Group, is the collective name for the officers within the Office of the President of the Philippines and refers to the following positions and officers: the Presidential Spokesperson and the Presidential Communications or Operations Office, formerly known the Office of the Press Secretary. The Communications Group is primarily responsible for planning, programming, and coordinating the activities that will most effectively collect information about what is happening in the executive branch of the government, and getting this information to the media. The group's other role is to help Filipinos understand government policies and programs, and to shore up support for them. The presidential spokesperson speaks on behalf of the president about matters of public interest. Considering the restricted level of access that the media has to the chief executive, the spokesperson is expected to be the primary source of presidential directives in the absence of the President of the Philippines. The presidential spokesperson is not subject to confirmation by the Commission on Appointments, and does not have any specific item or template in government. The current presidential spokesperson is Harry Roque, while the assistant to the presidential spokesperson is Ati Chris Roman of the Duterte administration. The Presidential Communications Operations Office. The PCOO head holds a cabinet rank. She is assisted by an Undersecretary for Administration and Finance, an Undersecretary for Operations, a Chief of Staff, an Assistant Secretary for Legislative Affairs, and an Electronic Data Processing Division Chief. The PCOO is composed of the following units and agencies. The Presidential News Desk functions as the newsroom of Malacanang Palace. It gathers and disseminates information, such as press and photograph releases, and official statements from the palace, on a daily basis. The PND operates from Sundays to Saturdays, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. It is headed by a chief editor and is composed of a managing editor, deskmen, and reporters. Other units which support the PND are electronic data processing, transcription and monitoring, and photographs. Francisco Tatad conceived the PND. He was the press secretary to President Ferdinand Marcos. It was then called the Central Desk and was located in the Mabini building. During the administration of President Corazon C. Aquino, Press Secretary Benigno Teodoro relegated the Central Desk, which became the News and Repertorial Section, as a section of the presidential press staff. Under the Ramos administration, Press Secretary Rodolfo Reyes strengthened presidential coverage and set up the PND. The Philippine Information Agency, established by Executive Order No. 100, is the main development communication arm of the government. It is under the Presidential Communications Operations Office. The PR directly serves the presidency and the executive branch of the national, regional and provincial levels through its 16 regional offices and 71 provincial information centers. Its core services include information gathering, research, production and dissemination, and institutional development and capacity building, focusing on alliance building, networking, communication-related training, consultancy and technical assistance. The PR is also the advertising arm of the government. It is headed by a Director General and a Deputy Director General, staff directors in the central office, regional directors in the regional offices, and more than 500 permanent and contractual employees. It works closely with other government agencies, in particular the National Printing Office, in the production of information materials. Its tagline is Empowering Communities. The PR works with community stakeholders, including local government units, line agencies, private entities, schools, colleges and universities, civil society organizations, and other groups in ensuring proper dissemination of information at the grassroots level. The agency advocates responsible sharing of information and responsible use of social media. Its current management and personnel work with the mantra and belief that a well-informed Filipino is an empowered Filipino. In 2017, the PR was tasked by PCOO to take the lead in promoting the 31st Association of Southeast Asian Nations Summit and established information kiosks in more than 90 locations in the country and Conducted community fora and dialogue with community leaders and local townsfolk. The Bureau of Communications Services is the attached agency of the PCOO that is tasked to provide materials and services related to various functions of the Presidency, PCOO and the general public. It also produces information materials for state events such as the anniversary of the People Power Revolution, Arrow NG Kalayan celebrations, and others. Director IV John S. Manalili is the Bureau's current director. Created by Pre.